All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we will commence with our Fulton State Expedited Accusation Calendar. This is a calendar in which individuals who, after being arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail, your cases have already been reviewed by the prosecutor, that is the Solicitor General's Office of Fulton County, and has already been accused. In other words, it's a formal case that is now before the Fulton State Court. This will be the defendant's initial appearance, so we will be covering several matters, including what are the charges brought in the accusation or accusations, appoint counsel if necessary, address the issue of bond, and give you a reset date if applicable. If you are a defendant accused of one or more misdemeanor offenses, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. We have public and conflict defense counsel who would be able to, who would be appointed to represent you. Okay, Francois, who are we beginning with in courtroom 2?
We have position 8, Mrs. Jones.
Correct. We have Reginald Joseph Jones, accused of simple battery, domestic violence from September 20.
Number 9. I thought we were on number 8.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Tisa. This is Charity Jones, accused of criminal trespass and damage to property on case number 22 CR 000817F. Ms. Jones, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and counsel is going to be Ms. Gant?
Yes, Shauna.
All right, thank you. And we have, do we have a cross defendant in this case?
Yes, we do.
Trying to find it.
It's going to be all 3 cases. Rogers. It's going to be position 13, 14,
Yeah.
and 15, which is represented by the conflict attorney.
All right, let's address Ms. Charity Jones first. Ms. Jones, your attorney is going to be Ms. Gant, and pre-trial, Ms. Tucson, any priors on Ms. Gant?
It's a second arrest. Last was 2014, 2 counts of battery family violence conviction out of DeKalb County.
All right, thank you. And who's the prosecutor? Ms. Falk, is it?
Ms.
Ms. Goodry? Hello, Ms. Goodry.
And Your
And
Honor, Corinne
yeah.
Rogers is not a cross defendant case. It's 2 totally different cases. They have nothing to do with one another.
I have co-defendant listed on her calendar along with the case.
So, Your Honor, just to clarify, Ms. Guidry is absolutely correct. What happened is, yes, they are in a relationship. There was an incident where he is the victim and she is the offender and vice versa. However, the incidents were not on the same dates. So what you have is 4 separate incidents, all separate from one another in isolation with the same parties.
All right. So let's then deal with Ms. Jones separately. What's the state's recommendation for this charge from September of 2021?
Your Honor, we're recommending a $2,000 surety and stay away from Avonlea West Side. That's AVONLEA. That's an apartment complex located at 2788 DeForest Ferry Road Northwest, Atlanta. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendants having a battery family violence charge and due to her breaking a window at the apartment complex seemingly over a dispute with her boyfriend after putting her children in a vehicle and leaving them there and breaking a window with a carjack. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Ms. Gant?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Charity Jones is 25 years old. She is a long-term Atlanta resident. She has 5 children, all under age 10. Her youngest is 11 months. She is the primary caretaker, and she states that she is not receiving any child support at this time. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 2788 DeForest Ferry Road. She states that that is her address and that Mr. Rogers does not live there. Ms. Jones is a high school graduate. She is currently working at Publix as a cashier. She has been in that position for 6 months. Turning to the allegations, she disputes the allegations. She's advises me that this was a verbal altercation that she did not start, Your Honor. And just for clarification, my client basically disputes the allegations, Your Honor. So therefore, I am requesting a signature bond, Your Honor. I do acknowledge my client's history of battery. That was in 2014. She has basically completed her probation. She did not violate probation at all. She does not have any history of any FTAs, and this is the allegation is regarding damage to property and not a person. So therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on her behalf. And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a signature bond, then a bond of no more than $300. Thank you.
All right. The bond is going to be set at 1,000. It's a surety bond. And I guess surety bonding companies will charge no more than $100 to $150. I'm not going to put a stay away from the location, but I'm a little concerned about whom this altercation occurred. Is it a Kayla Edison and
Kayla Edison is the property manager, and she witnessed the dispute. And Korean Rogers is her boyfriend.
All right. No further violent contact with Korean Rogers. But I'm not going to put a stay away at the present time. She's really going to have to deal with the landlord about any alleged damage to the property. Okay. And the next court date is going to be March 3rd, 2022 at 9 a.m. If she makes bond, we will give her a new address, a new court date, and it will be mailed out to the divorce address if that's still her current address. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
That's all the conditions.
Yeah, no further violent contact with Korean Rogers. And that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Okay, next case, Francois.
Position 11, Mr. Pitts. And you all can stand, and then we have who's here for you in your behalf. Who's here for you?
My mom.
And then we have his mother here on his behalf for support.
Okay, thank you. We have Raquan Pitts accused of simple battery domestic violence from an incident of November 27, 2021. Mr. Pitts, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney representing you is going to be Ms. Kim.
Yes.
Mr. Tucson, any priors on Mr. Pitts?
His third arrest. Last was 2019, robbery by sudden snatch. He got PTI for that. And he's on probation for 2 counts of simple assault, family violence. It's 21 CR 000 342 A as an apple.
And this was from a
2019.
April 2019 incident?
Yes, it was ag assaults. I guess they reduced it to simple assault.
Okay, and he's still on active probation?
Correct. He should get off of that in June. They gave him 12 months, June of last year.
I see. Okay. All right. Ms. Goodry or Ms. Arnold, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. The state is requesting a $7,500 surety bond that there be no further contact with Miss Jerica Glover. Jerica spelled Jerrica, a stay away from 1700 Stanton Road, Southwest in Atlanta, a one-day anger awareness course, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, this incident happened on November 27, 2021 at that Stanton Road location. Ms. Glover advised that the incident happened after the defendant went through her phone and saw text messages between herself and another guy, and proceeded to ask Ms. Glover if the child that they had together was in fact his child. In an outrage, the defendant began to drag Ms. Glover by her feet through the house as she was holding the child. And Ms. Glover advised officers that the defendant had been threatening to bring harm to her and that child as well. We do want to make note, Your Honor, that the defendant was arrested the defendant was arrested on this charge, but that arrest actually came from a call from yesterday afternoon. The supplemental police report stated that Ms. Glover had went to 344 ARD Place Northwest to get her child from the defendant. And when she arrived, the defendant came out of the house waving a gun at her and two other women. The officer only arrested the defendant based off of the warrant for this incident for November 27th, and nothing else. So we don't have enough information at this time to charge it. But at the very least, we know, because this incident did happen yesterday, the defendant will reoffend. So we are concerned for our victim's safety. And so we are asking for that $7,500 surety with the no further contact. We were able to make contact with our victim. And she stated that they are not in a relationship anymore and they do not live together, and that she does not want any more or further contact with the defendant. He's been threatening her. He's been threatening her, if she says she's going to call the police, he's been threatening her that if he goes to jail, something's going to happen or he'll shoot up her house. So we are very concerned. And so we would, again, just ask for that high bond for the $7,500 and no further contact with Ms. Glover.
All right. Is Ms. Glover on the Zoom? I don't see anyone by that name. Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pitts is 22 years old, and he was born and raised here in Georgia, and he has worked as a forklift operator to support his new baby, who is only 4 months old. He's the one who has been providing financially, and he also supports his parents as well. And he lives with his parents. Indeed, the baby was also living with with him and his parents. And right now, the baby's mother, complaining witness, took a baby yesterday, and they're afraid that mother is homeless, and also the baby will be homeless along with mother. And the incident that happened on 2021 June 3 or like April was with a totally different people. It's with actually his parents, and there was a lot of misunderstanding. When I spoke with his mother was emphasizing how good boy he is, how supportive he is, and it has been very challenging for them to deal with Miss Jerica Glover, because she's making a lot of false accusation. That's what they're claiming. And if you read affidavit for arrest, it clearly says that there was no visible injuries on Miss Glover's body, and she did not even need any medical attention. And it was my client who actually called the police because she would not let him go, and she wanted to take the Uber, but she was basically locking him out and not letting him go, and that's what happened. And there's a lot of misunderstanding on this case, so we deny the allegations of all those. And since he is working, providing the bread for 4 months old baby and his parents, we would like to request for very, very low bond. If the signature bond is not grantable, we would like to request for a $1,000 surety bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so from what I gather, where is this child at the present time? Is it with the custodial mother?
That's what I heard, that
Okay.
the baby is currently with a mother who is homeless.
Well, then I guess she will have to take steps to cure that problem.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
I just want to clarify, because the victim is not able to be here on the Zoom today, that our victim advocate has informed me that yes, the baby is with her and she is staying with a friend at the moment. In addition, I want to just make sure that Your Honor knows that the text that the communication, I'm sorry, that the defendant would shoot up our victim's home. He sent those communications through text. And also our victim advocate informed me that we do have a photo of the defendant holding his baby with a gun in his hand. So the mother is very concerned about the baby's safety. And she did make note that she is concerned about a third-party transport just because she is concerned that the defendant is not taking care of her child properly. And then oftentimes the defendant refuses to give the baby back to her, Your Honor.
So I'm assuming that someone is applying for an electronic warrant on the incidents from yesterday, or what are we talking about?
Your Honor, we are still working on getting more information. All that, we don't have warrants. All that was in the police report was very limited facts.
All right, thank you.
And
Anything else?
yes, Your Honor, just with regards to the incident that happened back in 2019 for the simple assault, it was against the parents, but we just want to point out that that was an aggravated assault that was bumped down to a lesser charge and possession of a knife because
Yes,
the parents didn't want
I did
to.
take note of that. I did.
Okay.
Anything else? We good?
Yes, Your Honor, nothing further.
All right.
I'm sorry, Judge Law.
Yes.
The mother wanted to say something on his behalf.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm
Yes, ma'am.
the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss, I'm sorry, what's your name, please?
My name is Miss Laquita Pitts.
Laquita Pitts. All right. And Miss Pitts, are you aware that your son is on probation from a Superior Court case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what else would you like to tell me?
Your Honor, I just want to tell you, my family and Raekwon, my son's life have been a living hell. The young lady, Jericho, she'll give us the baby to keep the baby for her due to her being homeless. When she have a disagreement with my son, that's when the game start playing. She done brought young men to my house with guns to try to bring harm to my family, my baby kids. Anything she can do to get next to him, she doing it.
Okay.
Well,
I'm going to put a stay away. So in other words,
yes, ma'am.
she cannot return to the property.
But Your Honor, can I ask you one question, please?
Okay.
What can we have done to her to keep her away from us and my family?
If you believe that she is harassing you, you may go to the Superior Court and obtain a protective order against her.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
I do want to let you know, me and my husband, this is one of the best kids that we have out of 6 kids living. He helped us pay our bills. He do everything that a young man is supposed to do for his family.
Well, we'll see about that. But
Yes,
presently, Francois, if you'd like to remove Miss Pitts from that particular room and back to the gallery, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy. Mr. Pitts, first of all, I want to applaud your mother for being here, for her support of you. I mean, it takes a lot of, and I can see it's very difficult for her. But we also have to face some reality issues. The reality issue is that you do have a felony charge in the past for someone so young. You are on active probation. from felony charges that were subsequently reduced to misdemeanor charges, but nevertheless, it doesn't mitigate the seriousness of your prior history. I'm not certain why the relationship between you and Ms. Glover is so temperamental or so difficult. But my biggest concern is that there's been now an allegation that a firearm is involved at the time of your alleged arrest. Now, whatever the authorities decide to do with that incident, that's entirely up to them. Your bond at the present time is going to be set at $5,000. It is going to be a surety bond. The next court date is March 3rd, 2022 at 9 a.m. Now, this is very important. You shall have no contact with Jerica Glover. You're not to communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. You're not to call her. You're not to text her. You're not to have somebody else, a third party, try to reach out to her. You're not to communicate with her through any kind of social media, and you have to stay 200 yards away from her. If she shows up at your place with the baby, I don't know whether you are the father of that child, since apparently there's been some allegation to question paternity. But if she shows up at the property, you are required by court order now to shut the door and do not permit her and the baby into the home. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you believe that you are the father of that child, once you make bond, you shall file a legitimation action with the Superior Court of Fulton County to establish paternity, establish your right to the child, establish visitation and any kind of joint custody. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There shall be no voluntary third-party transfer. In other words, you have no right to visit or have any care of that child until you go through the legitimation process. You're not to have any contact with Miss Jerica Glover and her child. And that's it. The other condition is no weapons and no firearms. You cannot be in possession of a firearm or firearms. They cannot be in your home. They cannot be in your purse, on your person. They cannot be in any vehicle you occupy, and they cannot be anywhere near you. So if your family or someone in there owns a firearm or firearms, they are going to be required to remove it from the home if you continue to reside there. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
No illegal drugs and no alcohol. If you make bond, I'm going to require you to make sure you comply with the stay away. And if there's any allegation or any evidence that you've attempted to reach out to Ms. Glover, or any harm is brought to Ms. Glover through a third party on your behalf, you could be facing serious felony charges. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Judge, what's the stay away address? He can return home. She doesn't live at that location. Next case, please, Francois.
Judge, real quick, you said it was 5,000?
Yeah, 5,000 surety.
Okay.
Reset date March 3rd.
All right, next case will be position 1, Mr. Barber.
We have Andrew Barber, case number 22CR000810C, accused of criminal trespass. And Mr. Barber, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Ms. Gant. Mr. Tucson, any priors?
No.
Ms. Goodry or Ms. Arnold?
Ms. Guidry, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're recommending a $1,000 signature bond, no further contact with Terica, Terrica Jeffries, a stay away from 2609 Charleston in Fulton County, third-party contact with the children, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant not having a criminal history. However, he does need to acknowledge that he did punch a hole in a wall due to him being upset. So that's why we're giving the stated recommendations.
Drywall repair is so expensive. Okay. Ms. Goodry, same assessment for the Jeffries case?
Yes, for the Jeffries case, we're recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Andrew Barber, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. We're not ordering because that is her address. This is due to her grabbing him and his shirt and ripping his shirt, Your Honor. This is her first arrest as well, and they do have a child together. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendations due to the dispute.
And this is 2504 Stone Road?
2609 Charleston,
Oh, okay.
that's what I have.
So they don't live together?
No, not them. All they have is a child together. They don't live together.
Oh. And Francois, is Ms. Jeffries in the room with you, or she is the South Annex?
She's in Union City.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Barber, Ms. Gant, unless you have any objection, I'm going to put down a $1,000 signature bond for pretrial services.
Your Honor,
Mhm.
I would, of course, I do not object to the signature bond. However, I would ask the court instead to put in place a no violent contact order. Mr. Barber and Ms. Jeffrey share a 6-month-old son together. And Mr. Barber is very concerned about continuing to be involved in his child's life, Your Honor. There is no prior history. There is no allegation of violence on my client's part, Your Honor. So I would
And
ask
he wants to continue to be involved in.
he wants to continue
Outside.
having contact with Ms. Jeffries, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we did ask for a third-party contact, so if he wants contact with the child, it can be through third party.
So right now, with regards to Andrew Barber, it's going to be a $1,000 signature bond for pretrial services. He's going to report to pretrial once a month, and he will be sent notice of his court date, which will be sent to the Stone Road location. Is that your address, Mr. Barber?
He said no, but he's on mute.
I have a 2504 Stone Road location.
Ma'am, that's just on my identification card, ma'am. But I do currently stay at 3072 Washington Road, East Point, Georgia.
All right, what was the address again?
3072 Washington Road.
3702 Washington Road,
Yes, ma'am, East Point, Georgia.
East Point. Okay, that's your new address?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a house or apartment?
Is that an apartment or a single family home?
It's an apartment, ma'am. It's apartment D7.
D as in Denmark, 7?
Yes, ma'am, D as in dog 7.
Dog 7, dog works too. Okay. All right. $1,000 signature bond for pretrial services. Presently, Mr. Barber, you shall have no contact with Terica Jeffries. You have to stay 200 yards away from her. You have to stay 200 yards away from 2609 Charleston location in Atlanta, Georgia. In other words, you cannot be anywhere near Miss Jeffries, and you cannot be anywhere near her home or anywhere where she happens to be. You cannot communicate with her through in person, through a third party, through a phone, computer, social media, anything to that effect. No contact with Terica Jeffries. There shall be no third party transfer of the child, although the state is agreeing to it. Once you are released from your signature bond, you will go back to Superior Court and file a legitimation action and obtain a Superior Court order establishing your paternity, your visitation, or any kind of joint custody that you seek with your child. Understood?
Your Honor.
Yes, Ms. Gant?
Your Honor, he informed me that he does, although he does not live at the 2609 Charleston address, he does have some belongings there. So I would request a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve his belongings.
Okay. What kind of belongings does he have?
He states clothing, he has clothing there.
Okay. A lot of clothing?
No, ma'am, it's just like maybe 2-3 days worth of clothes.
All right, she'll ship it out to you. No return at all. So, Mr. Barber, you cannot return to the location. Ms. Goodry, please advise victim advocate to put Mr. Barber's clothes in a box and have it mailed out to him. Okay, or he can pick it up at a local police precinct if he wants to leave it there.
Okay.
And we will see him and we'll send him court date for his next court date to the Washington Road location. Thank you. All right, next case, Francois.
Position 15, Mr. Rogers. I'm sorry, he's positions 13.
13, 14, 15.
14,
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So we have Corinne Manriquez Rogers. Mr. Rogers, you have 3 new cases and they've all been accused. I will list the cases and the alleged offense dates. First, position 13 is 22 CR 000814F. You've been accused of simple battery, domestic violence from a February 11, 2020 incident. The second case is 22 CR 000815F. And the charge is battery, domestic violence from a July 5th, 2021 incident. Third case is Corinne State versus Rogers, accused of battery, domestic violence, and criminal trespass from October 17, 2021. With regards to all 3 cases, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your counsel is going to be appointed from the Conflict Defender's Office. Do I have conflict counsel at the present time? No. Okay. Mr. Rogers, at your next court date, a conflict attorney would be hopefully ready.
Isn't somebody on, Judge?
He's on there, Judge.
I don't see anyone.
Conflict
here we go,
attorney.
Mr. Alai. Okay,
Yes,
sorry
Your
about
Honor.
that.
Your Honor, I'm
Okay.
only here for Ms. Jeffrey. That's what I was informed. I didn't realize I had another individual. They only assigned me Ms. Jeffries.
Okay,
I see.
Mr. Alai, would you like an opportunity to speak to Mr.
Sure.
Rogers?
Sure, I can do that if we can break out briefly.
Sure. You're going to call into the jail at 404-612-2392.
Okay, I'll do that.
And they'll have Mr. Rogers ready to. Francois, may I have another case, please?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge, can I ask Mr. On the conflict attorney information? I gave him the information for 2 cases. Did he receive that at the
I
time?
think he got it for Jeffries.
I think I got it for Jeffries. I didn't get it for the other individual, but I'll call now.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can resend it to him. Who do we have, please?
Position 2, Mr. Carr.
Okay. We have Cuevas, Corlitis.
2 and 3.
All right. Mr. Carr is 2 cases. Cuevas, middle initial Q, Carr, senior. And Mr. Carr, senior, you have 2 cases. The first one is 22 CR 000811B, accused of theft by taking from September 2nd, 2020. And the second case is 1 more count of theft by taking from November 2nd, 2020. And you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Gant. Mr. Tucson, any priors on Mr. Carr?
31 total. Last arrest was 2019. Acquiring a license plate for purpose of concealing the ID. He's on probation for burglary. Yeah, 11 SC 105095. Also states he's on probation for battery family violence. It's 18 SC 159651.
All right. Ms. Goodwin, what is the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, for position 2, we're recommending, well, he currently has a $1,500 surety bond for that one. We're asking that you maintain that bond. You issue a stay away from the travel lodge located at 2471 Old National Parkway in College Park, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. For position 3, we're asking that you maintain the bond. He currently has a $1,000 surety bond on that one. A stay away from the same travel lodge and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendant returning a second time and retrieving another 50-inch television from the same travel lodge hotel and being caught on camera from doing so. We're also concerned with the defendant's criminal history, has an extensive criminal history, as pretrial has stated, 31 arrests, and half of them being convictions from battery, family violence, numerous simple batteries, burglaries, theft by taking, and I also see an open warrant out of East for a probation violation. So we're highly concerned for the community safety, given that he continues to commit these kinds of acts. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
Ms. Kemp?
Thank you, Your Honor. Cuevas Carr is 41 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He is the proud father of 6 children, and 5 of the minor children are under the age of 15. Your Honor, Mr. Carr completed 12th grade. He is currently unemployed at this time, Your Honor. Prior to becoming unemployed, he was working about 30 hours a week whenever he could find work through the staffing agency. Therefore, Your Honor, he does not have the ability to pay much toward bond. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Carr's behalf so that he may deal with the East Point hold. Your Honor, I'm also requesting that signature bond because despite my client's history, we did not hear much in the area of FTAs, and this is a non-violent crime. We are not opposed to the stay away at 2471 Old National Pike. And further, Mr. Carr denies the allegations. He states that there is a cousin who committed this offense, and he's certain that it is not he who committed these offenses. And if Your Honor is not inclined to grant a signature bond, then I am asking for a bond of no more than $500 for each charge. Thank you.
Thank you. For position 2, the bond is set at $500 surety to stay away from the travel lodge at 2471 Old National Highway. For position 3 is a $1,500 surety and to stay away from the travel lodge at 2471 Old National Highway, both in College Park. And so it's a total of $2,000 surety bond. Next court date is March 3rd. Thank you.
Delaney, position 5. Mr. Delaney's next.
We have Jalen Nasir Delaney, accused of fare evasion and ordinance, carrying a concealed weapon, and misdemeanor possession of marijuana from yesterday. Case number 22 CR 000-821B. Mr. Delaney, you've been advised of the right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Gann. And do you sign any priors?
No.
He is 19 years old, 20?
21. I think it's 21, right?
Okay, oh, yeah, January 7th. Yep. Okay. Ms. Goodrich?
Yes, Your Honor, we're asking that you maintain the bond. He currently has a $6,000 total surety bond, $500 for the fare evasion, $5,000 for the carrying of a concealed weapon, and $500 for the possession of marijuana. A stay away from murder and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant having a weapon within his jacket while being at the MARTA station. Officers ran a GCIC and they learned that it was reported stolen out of Cobb County, Your Honor. So we're gravely concerned that there was a gun on his person, him being that young with that type of weapon. We're also concerned for the danger of the community, given that he had a gun that was stolen. And we do not know what could have happened with that gun, Your Honor. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation, even though this is his first arrest.
So why is this not a felony charge for theft by receiving stolen property?
Your Honor, we don't have any information as to who he received it from or where he received it from.
And Your Honor, I can actually answer that question because of the standard that the defendant knew or should have known the gun was stolen. The officers did not ask the requisite questions to allow us to prove that charge.
I see. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Goodrich. Ms. Gann?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jalen Delaney is 21 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has family here. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at 216 Peachtree Street. He is not aware of any active suspensions from MARTA, and he does not have a car, and he heavily relies on MARTA for transportation. Mr. Delaney completed high school, and he had been attending Bluffton University in Ohio, where he majored in sports management. However, Your Honor, he had to interrupt his studies momentarily because he had to work toward contributing to the well-being and financial responsibilities of his mother. And he also was injured while playing collegiate football. He plans to return to college one day and ultimately aspires to be a sports management agent. Your Honor, at this time, he is currently employed at Big Dave Cheesesteak. He has been in that position since 2021. He is burdened with paying back his student loans from the time that he was at Bluffton University. Therefore, he just does not have much to contribute toward bond. Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Delaney's behalf, being that this is his first arrest, and we do not believe that he's a danger to the community based upon what is alleged, which he disputes. And furthermore, nothing happened. The state put forth that, you know, he's a danger because of what could have happened. I would just bring to Your Honor's attention that nothing happened, and we should not use speculation to punish this young man with a high bond. So, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Delaney's behalf. Thank you.
Nothing happened yet. 3 charges were brought to against someone who's never had a prior history. Where's Bluffton College, by the way? What city?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, what is your question to me? I didn't
College.
know.
What city is that in?
Ms. Howard.
In Bluffton, Ohio.
Where?
Bluffton, Ohio. It's a small,
Bluffton, Ohio?
it's a small city in Ohio, probably like at least, I want to say 20,000 population.
Close to what city? What major city? Columbus, Cincinnati, Toledo, Cleveland?
Toledo.
I spent 7 years in Ohio and still discovering new cities. Oh my goodness. Okay. Mr. Delaney, you've got great career plans, and these allegations are not going to help you move in the right direction. On the fair evasion, it's going to be a $250 signature bond through the jail. Possession of marijuana, it's a $250 signature bond through the jail. But as the attorneys know, my philosophy on boys and toys is that the carrying concealed weapon is a $1,500 surety bond. So your total bond is a $2,000 split bond. You would have to go through a bonding company on the $1,500 surety bond. Condition to your next court date is going to be March 3rd. If you do make bond, then we will send you notice in the mail to your current address for your next court date. And the address we have for you on file at the present time is Morgan's Landing. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Conditions to your bond is no weapons, no firearms. You are not to have a firearm or firearms on your person, in your home, in any vehicle you occupy, or anywhere near you. So if anyone else in your home currently has legal possession of a firearm or firearms, they would be required to remove it from your home, or you are removed from the home, either or. No illegal drugs, no, and you are to stay away from all MARTA property in accordance with any suspension you may have. So I would recommend that you contact the MARTA Lindbergh headquarters office. And they're normally located right outside the Lindbergh MARTA station, and to confirm whether you have any active MARTA suspensions resulting from this incident. And if you do not, you may use MARTA. If you do have a suspension, then you have to stay away until that extension expires. All right. We will see you on March 3rd or anytime after that. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Rogers, position 13, 14, and 15.
All right, Mr. Rogers is positions 13, 14, 15, and Mr. Olay.
Olaloye, Your Honor.
Aloy. You know, it's a name with a lot of vowels.
It's gonna take time. I know.
Otherwise, I'll make you pronounce my first name. And most people avoid that. Okay. So anyways, Mr. Rogers, you're represented by conflict counsel, and we've already gone over the 3 cases and the charges brought against you. Mr. Tucson, any priors, please?
Yeah. Last arrest was 2017. Out of DeKalb County for theft by receiving, suspended license, obstruction, battery, family violence. Those were dismissed. 2016 theft by receiving, not presented to grand jury. He went to felony earlier, got a $5,000 good bond. Judge gave him no contact with
Anything else?
the victim we just had earlier. That's it.
All right. Yeah, Miss. Who was it? I can't remember. Sorry.
I forgot her name.
No. It was Charity Jones. Sorry. Okay, Miss Arnold.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to go over these cases separately with the facts and the bond. And Your Honor, the police reports were uploaded later in the day. So there was some new evidence on those police reports that you might hear in the facts. So we will have to reaccuse due to this new information, but I just wanted to let the court know. And if you're okay with proceeding that way.
That'll be fine. Just briefly go, I read the warrant. So tell me about position 13 summary. Why are you seeking a surety bond?
Yes, Your Honor. So for position 13, this incident happened on February 11th. In this incident, Miss Charity Jones advised that the defendant grabbed her by her hair and dragged her out of bed and then began to punch her in the face. The police report indicated that Miss Jones had a visible knot on her head and the back of her head, as well as scratches to her hands and abrasions to her knees, and that their children were present at the time of this incident. For position 13, we are requesting a $5,000 surety bond, that there be no further contact with Charity Jones, a stay away from the 2453 Coronet Way, apartment R5 in Atlanta, a one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. For position 14, this incident happened on July 5th, 2021 at 2788 DeForest Ferry Road, DeForest spelled DEFOORS, Northwest in Atlanta. Ms. Jones advised that she took her children to see their father, the defendant, and when she arrived, another woman was there, which upset her. They began arguing, and to de-escalate, Ms. Jones took her eldest daughter and got in the car to leave. The defendants followed her and smashed out her back windshield and her driver's side window. And at that point, he was able to reach into the driver's side window and punch Ms. Jones in the face 2 times. Officers were able to observe bruising and swelling to Ms. Jones. For this one, we are requesting a $5,000 surety bond. Again, no further contact with Ms. Jones, a stay away from the incident location, one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And then for position 15, Your Honor, this happened on October 17th, 2021 at the same DeForest Ferry location. Ms. Jones advised that she and the defendant were in a dispute where he tried to kick her out of the residence, and as a result began throwing her belongings out on the front lawn. When Ms. Jones attempted to stop the defendant, he hit her in the head, resulting in a large bump on her head. The defendant then pointed a gun at her feet and left the location. The kids were also there during this incident. Your Honor, for count 1 for the battery family violence, we are requesting a $5,000 surety bond. For count 2 for the criminal trespass, we're requesting a $1,500 surety bond for a total of a $6,500 surety bond. Again, no further contact with Ms. Jones. Stay away from the incident location, one-day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, we do believe that the defendant will reoffend. As you know, he already has an open case with the same victim, and we're here for 3 additional charges, for 2 for battery family violence and 1 simple battery family violence. So for these reasons, we are requesting the bonds as stated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Rogers is 24 years old. He does have 7 kids. I believe he has 5 kids with the alleged victim in this matter. Mr. Rogers does live at home. He is actually, he's in his children's lives. He does take care of his kids. as much as he can. He also helps at home with paying the bills. He does help his mother out with getting groceries or whatever it is, whether it's paying for utilities and rent. He is active both financially and physically there, Your Honor. So we are asking, because of that, obviously, that does put quite a strain on Mr. Rogers' financial status. In regards to the allegations, I would note that although they do appear serious in nature, I would note that 2 of them, I believe, happened in 2021. They are some months old. I'm not sure when position 13 occurred. I missed that date, but I would note that there is some age in when these incidents did happen, Your Honor. And I would also note that, again, at this stage, my client is still presumed innocent until found guilty, Your Honor. And again, I do understand the allegations do appear serious. It does not appear, and pretrial can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he had one violent arrest, but I don't believe that resulted in a conviction. Again, pretrial can correct me if I'm wrong, Your Honor. I do not believe he is a danger in terms of a flight. Again, he does live here. He has ties to the community. In respect to the actual bond, if he does not qualify for signature bond, I would ask for a nominal surety bond. Again, he does take care of all of his kids. He does have 7, 3 that do live with him. And he also helps out at home, helps out with his bills. I would ask for a very a nominal amount for surety bond if he does not qualify for a signature bond. I believe in one of the instances he actually lives there, so I would ask that the court not impose a stay away. And I don't recall which address it was. I believe the one that recently happened. That's
DeForest Avenue.
Okay, yes. I would ask that you do not impose a stay away, given that he lives there, his mother lives there. I do not believe the victim in that manner lives there. In regards to the kids, Your Honor, I would ask if the court is inclined to impose a third party, given that they do have 5 kids in common, and he is active in their kids' lives. 3 of the kids do actually live with him. So I believe that could cause a strain if the court is imposing something stricter than a third party visitation for the kids that do not live with him. So I would ask that you impose, if the court's not inclined to not impose any type of order, that you would make it just a third party visitation for the 2 kids that do not live with him. Again, because he does have 3 kids that do live with him. I believe the mother of those 3 kids is the alleged victim in this incident, again, Your Honor. So I would ask for a very nominal, very small amount or reasonable amount for surety bond, given that he does have a lot of responsibilities in regards to his kids. He also helps out with his mother at home.
All right, so he has 7 children and he shares 5 kids with Charity Jones.
From my understanding, yes, Your Honor.
All right, and we can unmute courtroom to got his hand up. Mr. Rogers, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case, the statements can and will be used against you. Would you like to say or not say?
Yes, we are great, me and her, in best terms of what happened the day before yesterday. They got both of us arrested.
Mr. Rogers, Mr. Rogers.
She's right here. That's all I want to say. She's right here. Like,
all right.
Your Honor.
Allegations.
That would not be a good thing to say right now, Mr. Rogers, and I totally agree with your attorney. Considering that you have 4 cases involving various degrees of violence with the same alleged victim, I would definitely not go that route. All right. Yes, Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to state that it is our understanding that the DeForest Ferry Road is our victim's apartment.
So she doesn't stay there no more.
Well, okay. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Anything else, Mr. Olay?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. On the incident from February 11, 2020, on simple battery domestic violence, position 13, that's going to be $1,000 surety bond. On the July 5th incident, position 14, that's going to be a $2,000 surety bond. On the position 15, battery, that's going to be a $2,500 surety bond. And a criminal trespass causing damage to property, that's going to be a $1,500 surety bond. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7. His total bond is going to be $7,000. All the cases are reset to March 3rd. That's going to be our SAP calendar. He is to have no contact with Charity Jones. He is to have no contact with the children with whom he shares with Ms. Jones. If he seeks to have any kind of visitation, custody, or care of the 5 children, if they are all minors, they should be all minors. Of the 5 children, he shall go to the Superior Court and file a legitimation action to establish paternity, visitation, custody, child support, all the good things that that you will obtain from a legitimation action. Have you already filed a legitimation action, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you have visitation and custody for the 5 children?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We will need to see proof of that. Do you have your legitimation order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I don't see any legitimation actions filed by Kareem Rogers. What county did you file them in?
DeKalb County,
Alright.
Cario Jones and Mike Jones.
Okay. So we will need a copy of those legitimation orders. If you know someone who can go back to your apartment and obtain them, or if you have your case numbers to give to your attorney, we'll be glad to look at that. But your contact and care and custody of the 5 children shall be strictly in accordance with the legitimation order. You cannot return to 2788 DeForest Ferry Road as long as Ms. Jones resides in the property. They return one time only to collect your personal belongings, but you must have the company of a police officer to return to that location. If Ms. Jones has vacated the premises and does not reside there, then you may return to the location. Also, no illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and no firearms. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So that was 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, correct?
Correct. All right, and I understand he's got a surety bond and his open felony matter as well. So that would be a total of 12,000 in order to bond out. All right, thank you, Mr. Rogers. Next case, Deputy Francois.
Position 10, Mr. Lewis.
Your Honor, if I may, while they're bringing the defendant up, I have another appointment that I need to address. Mr. Ian Walker will be here supervising in my stead, so if I may be excused.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Falk. You have a great weekend if I don't see you before that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. DeMarcus Lewis, position number 10, is accused of battery domestic violence from February 12, 2020 in case 22 CR 000813H. Mr. Lewis, you've been advised of your right to remain silent and your attorney is Ms. Kim. Any priors to some?
7 total. Last arrest was 2020, failure to appear out of car. On probation, criminal attempt to commit armed robbery, 2 counts of robbery. 2014, they gave him 12 years probation for that. It's 12 SC 107449. He's on parole. He has a parole hold too. Possession or transport of firearm by convicted felon.
Ms. Arnold?
Yes, Your Honor. We are asking for a $4,500 surety bond, no further contact with Santana Johnson, stay away from 2500 Center Street, apartment D230 in Atlanta, 1-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. We do believe the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he punched our victim in the face for simply saying he could not enter her home and left her with swelling on her cheek. We also believe the defendant will reoffend based on the history that pre-charges went over, including his 2019 probation violation. And further, we believe the defendant is a flight risk based on his FDA from 2020. So for these reasons, we are requesting the bond as stated. Thank you.
So you want him to stay away from the, I'm sorry, what was the name, what was the address again? That was the one in the warrant, wasn't it?
I had 25 Center Street. I can
Right.
double check, Your Honor, while defense goes. I can double check.
So he doesn't live there anymore according to his current address. Do you have any information from victim advocate? The warrant was issued back in April of 2020.
Yes, we weren't able to make contact with the victim. We didn't have her information, Your Honor. So I'm looking now to double check to see if the police report can verify. If you would just give me 1 second.
I just understand they share a child together, apparently, according to the warrant, but I don't know if it's there. So,
Okay.
sorry?
And unfortunately, the police report just has the offense. It doesn't have the victim or the defendant's information. Let me check one more place, Your Honor. So we have here in our under our victims tab that Miss Johnson's address is the 2500 Center Street Northwest.
Oh. 2500. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lewis is 24 years old, and this incident actually happened on February 12, 2020, and he was arrested on March 2020, and he has been in jail whole time, approximately about 2 years, and he just got out of the jail last Friday. So this is his first week. He came out of the jail and he was at home, and it apparently all those things happened really long time ago, along with other charges, but it was not addressed at that time. And it's kind of like coming back 2 years later. So he is fine with a stay away because there has been no contact whatsoever for last 2 or 3 years. From 2000, early 2000 till now, there was no contact. And it is okay to have no further contact. However, he would like to have a third party facilitated child visit who is 3 years old, who he has not been able to see at all. And he finished GED actually in prison, and he does not have a place to go, and he would like to request for low bonds. We understand that there is a open case, pending case, and however, we would like to request for low surety bond since he cannot afford at all. He doesn't have any money right now, so $500.
Just to clarify some of the statements that have been raised. So I see that he was booked at the Fulton County Jail in March of 2016 and released on March 30th, 2017, having spent 366 days. He was subsequently booked in the Fulton County Jail on April of 2019 and released on June 18, 2019, spending an additional 62 days. And then now I have him booked at Fulton County Jail on February 17th, today. So where was he held for the last 3 years? He said that he was in jail for 3 years.
He said he was in jail in Cobb County.
Oh, he's been otherwise in Cobb County. Yes, that's actually Cobb County FTA as well. So I'm sorry?
That's up.
Were you in prison for the last 3 years?
Yes, I went to prison in 2022. I'm in 2020, March the 3rd, something like that. I went to prison and did, like, they gave me 3 years. for violation.
Which prison were you at?
Augusta,
Repeat that?
Augusta prison.
Augusta, okay.
So,
And
yeah.
when were you released?
On Friday, on 11,
February 11.
on February 11.
And when were you taken into the Augusta prison?
Like last year,
You remember the season?
it was like
Winter, spring, summer, fall,
October, like October.
October? Okay. Oh,
I'm trying to see how do I have a probation, parole, like, I just got out of prison, and I had a warrant already when they let me out of prison.
okay, understood. Thank you. On the battery domestic violence, with regards to this particular charge, the bond is going to be set at $1,500. It is a surety bond. Next court date is March 3rd. No contact with Ms. Santana Johnson to stay away from the Center Street, 2500 Center Street location. Any contact with the minor child that he shares with Ms. Johnson would have to be established by a legitimation action. All you have to do is go to the Superior Court and file a legitimation action. It's very simple. They have the forms all ready and available at the self-help center. And once you file the action, a couple of months later, you should get a court order establishing visitation, custody, and any other matters.
So that, like, when I do pay loan, cash loan, or what?
I'm sorry, sir, I can't understand what you're saying.
I said, when I go to pay you gotta come to the jail to pay the bond, or?
You would have to contact a bonding company and the jail will help you facilitate that. But no contact with Ms. Johnson or the minor child. With regards to the minor child, you would have to get a legitimation order.
All right.
Thank you.
Next, we have
Thank you, Your
position
Honor.
16, Mr. Todd.
Okay, we have Darnell Todd, accused of theft by taking in case 22 CR 0000822G from a February 16 incident. Any priors, Mr. Toussaint? I'm sorry, no?
First arrest.
Okay, and Mr. Todd, your attorney is Ms. Kim. Ms. Arnold, what is the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is recommending a $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with Michael Ray, stay away from 3650 Jonesboro Road in Atlanta, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we are just basing our recommendation off of the facts of this case where the defendant stole a case of ammunition. So we are requesting the bond as stated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor,
Ms. Kim?
yes, Mr. Todd is actually, if you see the police report, it clearly says he turned himself in. This incident happened on December 18, 2021, and he got the phone call from the investigating police saying that, you know, he was basically accused of this theft by taking, and he was like, no, I think there was a misunderstanding. I want to clarify this. So he wanted to get this resolved. That's why he came voluntarily, and he was very cooperative with officers. And he has been here in Georgia for about more than 20 years. He's been here from 1996. He works really hard. He works as a Wi-Fi installer. He goes to hotel to upgrade the Wi-Fi system. He's been doing that for more than 7 years. He graduated from high school. He has an associate degree for information technology, and he himself also has worked as a security guard. He has been working a lot, and this incident is completely misunderstanding. We believe that he is innocent, and we would like to request for signature bond because this is his first arrest ever that he voluntarily turned himself into. Thank you, Your Honor.
And do we have a good address on Mr. Todd?
Yes, 4611 Hairston Crossing.
4611? I
Yes.
have 4680 on Odyssey, so which one is it?
4680.
4680, okay.
Okay.
Felon is going, in pretrial, I'm going to require you to take him. Any issues?
Not today.
$5,000 signature bond. Through pretrial services, he will report to pretrial once a month. He is not to consume any illegal drugs, and he's not to be in possession of any weapons or any firearms or any related ammunition. He must remove all such wonderful items from his vehicles, from his home. He is not allowed to engage in anything that will allow him to be within close distance of weapons and ammunition. And he's to stay away from the Atlanta Expo Center, which I'm assuming is at 3650 Jonesboro Road in Atlanta, Georgia.
Come on, Mr. Rivers.
Next court date will be sent to him. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 12, Mr. Rivers.
Rivers. Okay. Cornelius Rivers is accused of criminal trespass and loitering and prowling from an incident yesterday, and case number 22 CR 00823C. Mr. Rivers, your attorney is Ms. Kim, and any priors, Mr. Tucson? Sorry, Tucson? You were, if you can.
Yeah. See, 12 total. Last arrest was 2019, sale of marijuana, arson, first degree. The arson was accused out of Douglas County, so that appears to be open. 2019, failed to appear out of Noonan, sale of marijuana conviction, 2019. Shoplifting, 2017 conviction. 2015 probation violation, 2014 probation violation, 2012 same thing. 2012 simple battery arrest. He had a 2010 CWAC that was non-pros. A 2010 entering auto conviction. That's it.
All right. Ms. Arnold, he
Yes,
doesn't
Your
live at that location, right? Northside Bar?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. What's your recommendation?
Yes, so the state is requesting a $1,500 surety bond for count 1 for the criminal trespass and a $1,500 surety bond for count 2 for loiter and prowl, for a total of a $3,000 surety bond, a stay away from 370 Northside Drive in Atlanta. No further contact with Shakasia Quinn. Shakasia spelled Shakayzha. Quinn spelled Quinn, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Your Honor, we do believe the defendant will reoffend based on the fact that he so easily entered the apartment building and began pulling on multiple door handles. He also has probation violations, as pretrial has stated, from 2012, 2014, and 2015. We also believe he will be a flight risk based on the fact that he has a 2019 failure to appear as well. So for these reasons, we are requesting the $3,000 surety with the conditions as stated.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rivers is 30 years old, and actually he has a completely different story about what happened. He received an invitation from online dating site. He met a lady there, and somebody was inviting him to come over there to meet. So when he went there, he couldn't, the lady was not available. I mean, it was he could not find her. So he just wanted to charge his cell phone. And that's why all this misunderstanding happened while he was walking around to looking for the plug to charge his iPhone. And he works right now, he's gainfully employed, and he does scanning and returning items. And he lives with his parents. He's an only child. He graduated from high school. He has a computer science engineering degree, not degree, but certificate from Georgia Piedmont Technology College. And we would like to request for signature bond for this one. If it is not grantable, we would like to request for $500 surety bond, Your Honor.
All right. On each count is $750. Total bond is $1,500. It's a surety bond. Reset date is March 3rd. He is to stay 200 yards away from the entire complex, known as 370 Northside Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. No contact with Shakaza Quinn. No illegal drugs, no weapons, and no firearms.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Francois, next case, please.
I'm sorry, what was the bond amount, Judge?
$750 each count, so it's a $1,500 surety bond. Stay away and.
Where's our reset? We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right. Did you have any resets to announce or anyone in medical?
Yes. Actually, Your Honor, we do have Reginald, position number 9, Reginald Jones. We've actually filed and submitted waiver of appearance for him, and we would like to.
We will address him shortly then. Let me just go ahead and address South Annex right now. So courtroom 2, we are concluded. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow.
It was good to see you, Judge Law.
Thank you, you too. South Annex, good afternoon. Who do we have, please? Deputy Milton.
Good afternoon. Good to see you guys. Before you is position number 7, Ms. Jeffries. And after that is position number 4, Ms. Daly.
Okay. We have positions 7 and 4, Ms. Jeffries and Ms. Daly. Ladies, so my name is Judge Law. This is going to be your initial appearance at state court with regards to these newly accused cases against you. Please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and one will be appointed to represent you if you cannot afford one. Ms. Tarika Jeffries is case 22 CR 0000820C, accused of simple battery, domestic violence. She is either a co-defendant or cross-defendant with position 1, Andrew Barber.
First arrest.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Goodry, I believe you've already told me the recommendation of 2,500 surety bond, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Alayo, your client's bond is going to be 2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. No contact, no further contact with Andrew Barber. And if she lives at the Charleston location,
yes, Your Honor.
She can return to that location. Mr. Barber cannot. And if they share any children, do they share children?
I believe so, Your Honor.
All right. Then I believe I told him that he needs to go through a legitimation process to get a court order to establish contact and visitation. So right now she is to have no contact with Andrew Barber, and to remember that his contact with children can only be established by a legitimation order. She is to attend a 1-day anger awareness class while she's reporting to pretrial. No contact with Andrew Barber, and her next court date will be sent to her at her address. And just to confirm, what's your address, Ms. Jeffries?
2609 Charlestown Drive. 20.
That's
Okay.
all I need to confirm.
Yes,
All right?
ma'am.
And please reach out to your attorney to get the information about your bond, and make sure that you look out for your notice to show up in court next time. Failure to appeal will result in a bench warrant for your arrest as well as the cancellation of your signature bond. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that concludes my matters. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, great weekend. You
That begins on Thursday. All right.
too.
All right. Thank you, Milton. May we have the next case, please?
Well, Your Honor, do you want to inform her that she needs to send Mr. Barber his clothes? I know you wanted to tell her.
No, thank you for reminding me. All right. Ms. Daly, have a seat. Ms. Daly, have a seat.
Ms. Daly, have a seat.
Yeah. And Ms. Jeffries, Mr. Barber indicated that he still had couple of clothing items with you at the house.
Yes.
So if you could put them in a box and if you want to send him a text to let him know that you're shipping it to him or you're going to leave it at a police station for him to pick up.
Is there any way that I can send it by his mom?
Yeah, that'll be fine. His mom
Okay.
can come and pick it up from you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
There cannot be a breach of peace. There cannot be any kind of violence involved. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Good luck, man. Shade Daly is case 22 CR 000-819J. Miss Daly has been accused of 1 count of battery and 3 counts of cruelty in the 3rd degree from a December 7th, 2021 incident. Miss Daly, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Miss Gant. Mr. Tucson, any priors, please?
A second arrest. She was arrested January 1st, 2021 in Noonan. Aggravated battery, criminal trespass, and simple battery. That's open.
All right. And Ms. Goodry?
Yes, Your Honor, we're recommending a $4,000 surety for count 1, the battery, $100 each surety for the cruelty to children, making it $300 total, making a total of $4,300 surety bond. No further contact. Daisha Hudson, Chloe Hopkins, Skylar Calhoun, that's CALHOUN, and Jasmine JAZMYNE King. 1-day anger awareness and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the facts of this case. Given that she was fighting high school children in the street, she pulled up next to them while they were walking. Herself, her daughter, and her daughter's aunt got out of the car, asked which one of y'all wanted. Jasmine King and her daughter started to fight. Daisha Hudson, the victim, attempted to break it up, and the defendant jumped in, pushed her on her back, and then started punching her in her face, causing visible bruising. She had bruising to her face, a swollen left eye, a busted lip. Your Honor, she went to the hospital and she was also diagnosed with bone bruise. This is a broken eye socket. It can last from 1 to 2 months or longer, depending on how long it takes to heal, Your Honor. We're gravely concerned for the community safety and these children's safety, Your Honor, given that these are high school children that she was fighting, Your Honor. She also has a history of violence, given that she just has an open case from last year, 2021, as pretrial stated for aggravated battery and simple battery, Your Honor. So she has a history of not keeping her hands to herself, Your Honor. So we are gravely concerned that she will reoffend and harm these children again. So that's why we're asking for the stated recommendation.
All right. The cruelty in the 3rd degree, isn't that normally in the context of a domestic violence?
Usually, but since the children were there and she was fighting and she knew that they were all children, that's why we charged her with the cruelty to children.
Okay. Just throwing that out there. Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Shade Daly is 23 years old. She is a lifelong Atlanta resident. She is responsible for the Miss Aaliyah. I will not repeat her last name, but the subject of the, one of the Miss Aaliyah is the subject of Ms. Daly's involvement in this matter. Your Honor, she also is a single mother caring for 2 minor children, a 6-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. She does not receive any child support. Your Honor, Ms. Daly has completed high school. She is unemployed at this time, therefore she is unable to pay any bond at this time. Your Honor, she denies the allegations. She offers a competing version. She states that about 8 people arrived on scene to attack Aaliyah F. And that Aaliyah F had been having trouble with these other high school students. And she more so stepped in to defend Aaliyah Flanders because she, again, was being attacked by 8 people. Ms. Daly states that she tried to break up the fight and that instead Ms. Dasha Hudson actually attacked her. And she basically sought to defend herself and also to defend Aaliyah Flanders. Now, we heard about my client's open case. However, Your Honor, she is presumed in that case and she is presumed in this present matter as well. Therefore, it has not been established that she has a violent history, and it has not been established that she will reoffend in that. In this instance, she was merely acting in self-defense and also defense of others. Therefore, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Daly's behalf. And if Your Honor is not so inclined to grant one, then a bond of no more than $500 for the battery and a signature bond for the 3 cruelty to children charges. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Goodman?
If I may, I want to remind the court that, again, one of the children, Chloe, stated that she did try to break up the fight and try to help Daisha Hudson. However, she stated that she was too small and that all the other people were grownups. So this is just saying that, Your Honor, these were children. So that's why we're asking for that bond.
It apparently turns out to be a street fight, and there's an allegation that Ms. Daly may have provoked it according to the warrant. That's what it is. But my concern is that Ms. Daly has already got an open violent case in the same year. Bond is going to be set on the battery charge at $2,500, it's a 30 bond. The remaining 3 charges are going to be a 500 signature bond through the jail. And so the total bond is $4,000 here. No contact with any of the minors unidentified in the warrants. And to stay away from that location, which was something Buckingham.
Your Honor,
yes.
May I get clarification on the stay away address, because 205 Buckingham Lane is Ms. Daly's mother's residence, Your Honor.
Does she live there?
Miss, do you live at that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
She lives there with her mother, Your Honor.
Okay, I will put, I'll dispense with the stay away, but she can have no contact with the alleged minors identified in the warrants. And I think there's several, I have DH, AF, who else were you identifying Ms. Goodry by initials?
DH, CH, SC, and JK.
Okay. No illegal drugs, no weapons, and no firearms. Thank you.
What was that bond amount again?
$2,500 on the battery, surety bond. The cruelty charges are 500 signature bond to the jail.
All right.
All right, thank you, Ms. Daly. Milton, do we have any other cases?
That's it, Your Honor. May I be excused, please?
Of course. You have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, going back to Ms. Kim's position 9, we have Reginald Joseph Jones, accused of simple battery domestic violence. He is he in a quarantine or medical facility, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Kim has indicated that she's got a waiver of his presence for this initial hearing. Yes. So incident was from September 26, 2021. Ms. Goodry or Ms. Arnold, who will be addressing this? Okay. Mr. Tucson, would you happen to have position 9's GCIC? All right. Ms. Goodry, why don't you start, and then maybe Tucson will join us. Ms. Goodry, am I first?
My bad, I thought I was talking.
Oh, no. The Zoom has Ms. Goodry. Okay, go ahead.
She can go. She can go.
I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you know, in the Zoom terminology, but Tucson, what's the price on Reginald Jones?
11 adult arrests. Last was 2019 suspended license conviction. 2017 driving without a valid license conviction. 2015 probation violation. 2015 contempt of court, not prosecuted. 2014 suspended license NOLO. He has history out of Florida. Hold on. 2010 out of Florida. It says possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon. Use, display of a firearm during the commission of a felony. think the charges were dropped in those cases. Oh, the felony in possession was a conviction. Second line. 2009 failure to appear. 2007 carry concealed weapon. Misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Resisting an officer without violence.
This was in Florida?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Arnold or Ms. Goodry? Ms. Goodry?
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back.
I'm back.
No problem. Did you get a chance to listen to the GCIC or you have it as well?
I have the GCIC. I just want to make sure we're on position 9, correct?
Correct. Reginald
Okay.
Joseph Jones, yes. So we've got 11 prior adult arrests, including a Florida history. What's the state's recommendation for this simple battery domestic violence from September 26th?
Yes, we're recommending a $3,000 surety, a stay away from 2625 Charleston Drive, apartment 17A, College Park. No further contact with Chandria, Shandria, Hearn, Hearn, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the facts of this case. Ms. Chandria stated that the defendant, who is the father of her children, came into the residence to retrieve his children. He got upset with Ms. Hearn about messages. He began to break things inside the home. And when she attempted to stop him, he pushed her down and struck her in the face. And the party's 2 children were there. They witnessed it and they corroborated the stories, Your Honor. So we're concerned for her safety, Your Honor. And as pretrial stated, his criminal history, he also has criminal history out of Florida, so he's a flight risk. So we're concerned that he will not come back for court. And we want to ensure that he comes back to court and for the safety of the victim. So that's why we're asking for the recommendation.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Reginald Jones is high school graduated. He has lived here in Georgia for about 8 years, and he's gainfully employed here in Georgia. He has a full-time job as a line supervisor at the Juicy Crab in East Point. He has had that job for 4 years. He has 2 daughters, aged 13 and 7, and he supports financially completely. And also he has a co-parent. He's actually co-parent with the complaining witness. And if he doesn't mind no further contact with her. However, he would like to continue to see his children. And he also has a mutual friend who can probably give a ride or transportation to the children, so that way that they can meet together. And they do not live together, so staying away is completely fine. And he does not even need a one-time escort either, because he has nothing there. And we would like to request for a signature bond. However, it is not, if Your Honor is not inclined to grant the signature bond, we would like to request for low bond for about $1,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Bond set at $1,500 is a surety bond. No contact with Shadria Hearn. No contact with the 2 minor children. He can establish visitation and custody through a legitimation action, where he can obtain a court order for visitation, custody, joint custody, whatever the court order establishes. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and firearms. Next court date is March 3rd. Hope people see you then. Thank you. This is position number 9. Just
Your
to go
Honor,
down-
are you going to stay away as well?
Stay away at, what was it, Charleston in College Park?
Yes.
Okay, it was,
What number 17?
2625 Charleston Drive in College Park. Stay away from that location. Gregory Watson, do we know what's going on? Is this another medical reset?
I don't think he was a reset from yesterday.
No, he's new.
I have Alex Griffin. He was a reset from yesterday.
Let's go on the calendar and see what's going on. Andrew Barber is $1,000 signature bond through pre-trial. Positions 2 and 3 is a total of a $2,000 surety bond, reset March 3rd. Position 4 is a $24,000 split bond, reset date March 3rd. Position 5 is a $2,000 split bond, reset date March 3rd. Alex Griffin was a previous reset. Position 6.
You said tomorrow?
I have to, I'm just trying to see what was the reason for it.
I think
This has
it's
been multiple resets.
I think he's an MH reset.
Right. We're going to reset it one more time to February 18th, see calendar. And if the defense wants to submit a MH evaluation and put him on a reset date for status, Ms. Gant or Ms. Kim?
Your Honor, actually, Mr. Gregory Watson, I was able to speak to him and I was expecting for him to be present at the courts.
Are we talking about Alex Griffin?
No,
Position
Gregory
6.
Watson.
No, I'm talking about Alex Griffin, position 6.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yes, Mr. Griffin was assigned to me and he is on our radar. If Mr. Howard has any input, we'd appreciate it.
Judge, I will go out tomorrow morning and try to, we'll make a decision one way or the other. So I'll go and see him.
Yeah, so let me know or let, I don't know if it's Judge Mincy or Judge Williams know tomorrow.
It's Judge Williams tomorrow.
Judge Williams know what's the status.
Okay.
He's been reset, from what I can tell, at least since February 11th.
Okay, so definitely, Judge, we'll make a decision tomorrow.
Like a 6th reset, yeah, okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Howard. Position 7 is a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial. Position 8 is a $1,000 surety bond, reset March 3rd. Position 9 is a 1,500 surety bond, reset March 3rd. 10 is a 1,500 surety bond, reset March 3rd. 11 is a $5,000 surety bond, reset March 3rd. 12 is a 1,500 surety bond, reset March 3rd. 13, 14, and 15 are the same defendant. The total bond is 7,000. You all have the breakdown. 13 is 1,000, 14 is 2,000, 15 is 4,000 surety bond, all reset March 3rd. 16, Todd is a $5,000 signature bond to pretrial. 17, Gregory Watson. And Miss Kim, yes, you were saying?
Yeah. I had an interview with him. I don't know why he's not here, Your Honor.
All right.
Yes, he has actually about 5 felony charges, and maybe that's why he was upgraded, but we didn't get any notification about that.
All right. Miss Arnold or Miss Goodry, do y'all have any information if this case has been transferred to the DA's office?
Your Honor, we didn't transfer this case. He was still on our calendar. The only thing is he was charged with simple battery and reckless conduct. We did set an NOD for the reckless conduct, but I'm not sure why he wasn't here.
Is anyone from the jail on, Judge, that we can inquire about why he wasn't brought?
I think courtroom 2 has been released. That I've released both the courtrooms. So let's see now. He was booked in on February 13th. I don't know why he's not been seen, but he's Riverside, unless we have a good reason why he was not been brought to jail today.
This incident happened within the jail.
And y'all have any objection to $1,000 signature bond through the jail? It's Riverside.
I don't have an objection.
Ms. Goodry?
It's Ms. Arnold's case. It would be up to her.
He's been in
Ms.
jail
Arnold?
for 370 days still.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
we'll object, but we will defer to the court for the bond.
Ms. Kim, we're still gonna reset it to tomorrow, February 18th, but I'm putting a $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
Sure.
And that way he can be informed of his bond.
Okay.
Hopefully he'll be there, but he's Riverside.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Lewis, let's reset position 17. Hopefully he shows up and he knows he's got a $1,000 signature bond to the jail, and his next court date will be March 3rd. All right, so whoever speaks to him tomorrow, you can let him know. Otherwise, he's more than welcome to come back to court. Otherwise, you can waive his appearance.
So do you want to put on the SCA count and the state on purpose?
He has to be on both counts.
Okay.
Because we don't have a waiver.
Judge, I have a question about position 4. Is it a $3,000 split bond?
$4,000 split bond, $2,500 on the battery, $500 on the cruelty charges. I just don't know whether the cruelty can come in on a non-DV case. So, but either way, y'all look into it.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, folks?
Nothing else. No, Your Honor.
You can ask the wise and sage Mr. Howard. He's been around a long time. He'll be the Buddha to ask. You see, he's muted himself just to be quiet.
I missed that, Judge. What did you say?
I said, I don't know if you can have a cruelty in a 3rd degree on a battery non-DV case. So I'm going to defer that to the prosecution to look into. But you can ask, the sage and wise Mr. Howard. Done a few circles.
Right, I know it can't follow a simple battery, Judge, but.
I don't know about cruelty in a non-DV context, but it's just put a hiccup in my brain. So y'all look at it, okay? All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, some of you, for that wonderful Orca calendar. And Judge Williams will take over for Sue tomorrow. So y'all have a great weekend if I don't see any of you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.